1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President calls for long-term plan to advance Sri Lanka's energy sector transformation. Flood risks in several provinces has been increased due to the onset of the southeast monsoon rain. The results of the GCE A-level examination will be released on or before Monday. The government focuses on addressing issues faced by Grama Nilgiri officers. 2.5 billion rupees released for paddy cultivation in the yellow season. US envoy meets Sri Lanka's election chief. Foreign news, White House says that Israel's operation in Rafah doesn't cross US red lines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has called on all stakeholders, including the private sector investors, to support and develop a long-term plan for advancing Sri Lanka's energy sector transformation and promoting green growth efforts. The President stated this while addressing a roundtable discussion, the President's media division reported. The Department of Irrigation says that flood risk in several provinces has been increased due to the onset of the southeast monsoon rain. Engineer of the Irrigation Department, SLBC Sugishwara, said that the people living in the western, Sabaragama, southern and northwestern provinces should be vigilant in this regard, as a flood situation in the low-lying areas can occur in the Ratnapura, Palmandula, Nivitikala, Alapatha, Kuruvita and Kiriyala Divisional Secretariat divisions. There is a risk of floods in the vicinity of the Ging and Nilvala rivers, and the water level of the Daduruoya, Maoya, Attanagaluoya and the Kalani and Ging rivers have increased to a spill level. The Disaster Management Centre said that more than 34,263 persons have been affected by the adverse weather conditions. Minister Susil Premchandra says that the results of the GCE A-level examination will be released on or before Monday. At present, the result sheets are being prepared. The results can be obtained by entering the official website www.doenets.lk or www.donets.lk. Meanwhile, the chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Sampath Amarasunga, said that he will request the members of the non-academic trade unions to provide their support to continue academic activities in universities by reporting for duties. The government has informed their stance about the demands, including the salary increase of the non-academic staff of the universities. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Department of Agrarian Development has taken steps to transfer an amount of 2.5 billion rupees to the farmers' accounts as a cultivation subsidy provided to the farmers in the 2024 yellow season. Accordingly, more than 2.5 billion rupees has been spent on agriculture for 213,771 farmers. The amount of paddy cultivation that has been subsidized is 167,362 hectares. It is expected that about 450,000 hectares of paddy fields will be cultivated this year's yellow season, and the financial subsidy to be provided for all cultivated paddy fields will be around 7.5 billion rupees, according to the Department of Agrarian Development. The Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries, Mr. Mahinda Amaravira, submitted a cabinet paper to give 15,000 rupees per hectare to every farmer who cultivates paddy in the 2024 yellow season. The approval of the cabinet has been received for that. Accordingly, the Department of Agrarian Development has prepared a formal information and data system to account for the money for every farmer who has completed cultivation. President's Senior Advisor on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff, Sagala Ratnayaka, has advised the relevant officials to find possible solutions to the problems in the Grama Nilgiri service while ensuring that no conflict arises with other public services. He emphasized the importance of discussing existing issues thoroughly and reaching a common agreement. This directive was given during a meeting held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday involving officials of the Grama Nilgiri trade unions and related line institutions, the PMD reported. There was an extensive discussion regarding the issues related to the Grama Nilgiri service constitution and the problems that have arisen concerning the salary scale, the statement said. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Veda.
Julie Chung, the American ambassador to Sri Lanka, held a meeting with RMAL Ratnayaka, the chairman of the Election Commission, to discuss the forthcoming elections in the country. The discussion focused on the preparations for the elections and the challenges faced during previous election cycles. Ambassador Chung expressed her interest in understanding the current state of the election process and the measures being taken to ensure a fair and transparent election. Mr. Ratnayaka assured the ambassador that the Election Commission is committed to conducting the elections in accordance with the constitutional powers vested in the body. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Veda.
In Washlight this afternoon, Health Entomology Officers Association President Najit Sumanasena yesterday said that there is a risk of dengue epidemic in the Brito Index, which measures the density of dengue larvae, has reached 25. He said the results of the increase in mosquito density will be reported in the next 6 weeks. He also said that there is a risk of dengue epidemic being recorded during that period, and some places are reporting Brito Index of 30 to 40. He stated that according to the World Health Organization, the Brito Index should remain below 5. And that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
The headlines first. White House says that Israel's operation in Rafah doesn't cross U.S. red lines. North Korea drops trash balloons on the south. And the Indian state holding the key to Prime Minister Modi's re-election. The U.S. does not believe Israel has launched a full-scale invasion of Rafah in southern Gaza, White House spokesman John Kirby has said. He spoke hours after Israeli forces reached the center of the city and reportedly seized a strategically important hill overlooking the nearby border with Egypt. U.S. President Joe Biden said this month he would limit weapons supplies to Israel if entered the population centers of Rafah, where hundreds of thousands of civilians are still believed to be sheltering. Mr. Kirby was also questioned about an Israeli strike and resulting fire that killed at least 45 Palestinians, many of them women, children or elderly, at a camp for displaced people on Sunday. North Korea has dropped 90 balloons carrying propaganda leaflets and rubbish on 2 border provinces in the south, prompting authorities to warn its residents to stay indoors. South Korea's military also cautioned the public today against touching the white balloons and the plastic bags attached to them because they contain filthy waste and trash. The balloons found in Gyeonggi and Gangwon provinces are now being analyzed by relevant authorities. North and South Korea have both used balloons in their propaganda campaigns since the Korean War in the 1950s. As India votes to elect a new government, all eyes are on the northern state of Uttar Pradesh, commonly known by its initials UP. Spread over an area roughly the size of Britain, the state packs in nearly 4 times as many people. With an estimated 257 million people, it is India's most populous state and would be the 5th largest in the world if it was the independent country after India, China, United States and Indonesia, and ahead of Pakistan or Brazil. The state is among just 3 in India which are voting in all 7 phases of the election, which are spread over 45 days. Voting ends on the 1st of June and results will be announced on the 4th of June. And back to the headlines of the world news. White House says that the Israel operation in Rafah doesn't cross U.S. red lines. North Korea drops trash balloons on the south. And the Indian state holding the key to Prime Minister Modi's re-election. And that ends world news.
Development news.
Sri Lanka has great potential for medical tourism when concerning the unparalleled hospitality of Sri Lankans, Investment Promotion State Minister Dilum Amurugama said. He was addressing the launching ceremony of International Patient Care Connection Platform, IPCCP, of Rajagiri Hospital, along with Medicare Global Connections, recently in Colombo while participating in the event as the chief guest. Accordingly, Rajagiri Hospital, Cochin, India, established in 2014, has tied up with the local company Medicare Global Connections to launch its international Patent Connect platform in Sri Lanka. And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
A team of 5 sportsmen and women will participate in the Open Athletic Championship to be held in Taiwan on the 1st and 2nd of next month. Aruna Darshana, Dilhani Lekamge, Nadisha Ramanayaka, Tharushika Naratna and Gayantika Abiratna will participate at the meet. And that was sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Dialog Axiata PLC has introduced smartphone plans, the nation's first installment plan designed to offer all Sri Lankans a convenient and affordable solution for purchasing the latest Android smartphones. This innovative plan enables customers to own the latest Android smartphones by paying just 40% upfront, with the balance conveniently spread over 24 months and integrated into their Dialog Power Plan postpaid mobile bill. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. To strengthen cooperation in trade and investment, a delegation from China Council for the Promotion of International Trade, CCPIT, from Fujian Province met with Board of Investment Chairman Dinesh Virakodi and officials of the BOI on Monday to discuss potential areas for trade and investment. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
The prevailing showery and windy conditions over the island are expected to continue further due to the active southwest monsoonal condition, says the Meteorology Department. Showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern and southern provinces. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa province and in the Nuwara Eliya district. Showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in the Uva province and in Ampara and Badiklo district in the evening or night. Strong winds of about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the central hills and in the northern, north-central, western, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee and Mondragala districts. And before we end this news broadcast, the headlines again. The President calls for long-term plan to advance Sri Lanka's energy sector transformation. Flood risk in several provinces has been increased due to the onset of the southeast monsoon rain. The results of the GCE A-level examination will be released on or before Monday. The government focuses on addressing issues faced by Grama Nilgiri officers. 2.5 billion rupees released for paddy cultivation in the Yala season. U.S. envoy meets Sri Lanka's election chief. Foreign news, White House says that Israel's operation in Rafah doesn't cross U.S. red lines. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation and handing over the microphone back to Satya on the other side to keep you company this Wednesday afternoon. Over to you, Satya.